The lights dimmed inside the packed arena, and for a brief, haunting second, silence swallowed the atmosphere. Then, without warning, an eruption of applause exploded through the venue like a sonic boom. The rhythm of battle drums thundered through the speakers, signaling the beginning of something monumental. This wasn't just another night of prize fighting. This wasn't a routine card stacked with names hoping for relevance. No, this was a statement event, an evening where greatness either begins or fades under pressure. On one side of the ring stood Naoya Inoue, already a rising force in the sport, even in only his fourth professional bout. Dubbed the Monster, he was a whirlwind of precision, rage, and national pride, the embodiment of Japan's warrior legacy. Across from him stood Jerson Mancio, an unrelenting journeyman, not favored, not hyped, but certainly not afraid. He had grit, durability, and defiance coursing through his veins. He was here to prove he belonged. But this was no fight for respect alone. It was a test of honor, discipline, and raw dominance. Every eye in the building was locked on the ring, every breath held tight in anticipation. Inoue climbed through the ropes. The arena trembled under the weight of expectation. The Japanese title hung in the balance, but for Inoue, it meant more than a belt. It was a rite of passage. Inoue's demeanor betrayed none of the hype swirling around him. He wasn't cocky. He wasn't smiling. His eyes were narrow, cold, and focused like a sniper's scope. For those watching closely, the message was clear. This wasn't a fighter caught in the glow of early fame. This was a hunter, and the hunt was already underway. The bell rang with authority. No time wasted. Inoue instantly took command of the center of the ring, asserting dominance with his jab, short, compact, and full of intent. Mancio circled carefully along the outer perimeter, gloves tight to his chin, searching for patterns. But patterns were hard to find when the man across from you moved like fluid steel. Inoue's jab was more than just a measuring tool. It was a leash, keeping Mancio at range, dragging him into traps. Within moments, Inoue fired a sharp left to the body, then pivoted, unleashing a slick right upstairs. The first crack in Mancio's armor showed, not a retreat, not a step back, but a flinch. Subtle, yet revealing. The kind of movement fighters notice but crowds rarely catch. Inoue was fighting with cold logic, not emotion. This wasn't brawling. This was precise, organized destruction. He wasn't just looking to land. He was looking to control Mancio's rhythm, bend it, and break it. Every jab was a probe. Every feint a lure. With clever footwork, Inoue sliced through the ring space like a chess master cutting off lanes. The commentators quickly picked up on the shift. Within less than a round, Inoue had already halved the space Mancio had to operate in. The ring was shrinking around him, one calculated step at a time. And then came the first real exchange. Mancio finally let his hands go, a flurry meant to test Inoue's defense, maybe catch him resetting. But Inoue had already anticipated it. He slipped under the shots, parried them, then fired back with a whip-like left hook that cracked against Mancio's jaw and snapped his head sideways. Gasps rippled through the crowd. That single shot marked a tone for the entire night. Inoue would not be flustered. He would not be out-timed or out-thought. This was his ring now. The bell ended the round, and though Mancio walked back to his corner standing, the look in his team's eyes showed concern. He hadn't taken a beating yet, but the blueprint was already unfolding in front of them. Inoue had seized control. Round 2 began like a sequel, same themes, but now with elevated stakes. Inoue emerged with more energy, more bite. His punches were faster, crueler, and more deliberate. He targeted the body early, digging in hooks that made the crowd wince from the echo. Mancio, to his credit, stood his ground and even attempted a looping counter over the top, but Inoue read it like a children's book. He slipped under it and fired a missile of a straight right into Mancio's chin. The shot sent a shudder through Mancio's legs, and for a moment it looked like he might drop. He didn't, but the damage was done. The crowd surged. They could feel the end beginning to take shape. Inoue shifted gears. The body became his canvas. Triple jab upstairs, then a left hook downstairs. Then a straight right to the ribs and an uppercut that slid between Mancio's gloves. The cumulative damage began to show. Mancio's breathing deepened. He started moving backward more consistently. The tempo belonged to Inoue now, and he wasn't slowing down. By the middle of round 3, the effects were undeniable. Inoue launched a clean counter right hand that found its mark and opened a cut under Mancio's left eye. The camera zoomed in on the damage. The blood was faint but telling. Meanwhile, Inoue had his own wound, a small cut, likely from a clash of heads or a rare counter, but he paid it no mind. No checking. No glove wipe. His expression didn't even flicker. He pressed forward like a machine programmed for war. Then came the onslaught. Inoue pounced with a flurry of punches, driving Mancio to the ropes. 5 clean shots in a span of seconds, each one purposeful, each one like a chisel strike against granite. Left hook. Right hand. Uppercut. Then a final hook to the body that made Mancio double over, just slightly. The referee loomed, ready to intervene, but Mancio didn't fall. He absorbed it, stumbled back to his corner as the bell rang, and tried to regroup. The commentary team spoke with reverence, marveling not just at Inoue's speed and strength but also at his mind, his ability to dissect an opponent while barely breaking a sweat. Round 4 was a continuation of destruction. Inoue didn't reset or coast. He accelerated. His movement became sharper. His control over distance is absolute. Lateral steps, sharp pivots, endless pressure. He looked effortless, like he was sparring, while Mancio seemed to be fighting for survival. Inoue's combinations returned to the body, punishing hooks to the liver followed by piercing uppercuts. Mancio, sensing the traps, began to cover low, but that opened the high guard. Inoue adjusted instantly, sending a straight right crashing through the top. The snap of the head was violent. His corner screamed. Still, the referee allowed it to continue. Now came the psychological warfare. Inoue began to feint and pause, baiting Mancio to fire back. And every time Mancio did, Inoue punished him with counters so fast the camera struggled to follow. He was boxing like a ghost, unhittable, unreadable, and everywhere at once. The monster was turning into something more terrifying, a surgical killer. The 5th round offered no reprieve. This time, Inoue marched forward without waiting. A massive right hand sent a shockwave through the arena. Mancio's knees bent, and his balance shifted. Inoue attacked, right hooks, body shots, and clean head strikes. The crowd was on their feet, screaming for the ref to step in. Yet still, the official held off, perhaps out of respect for Mancio's courage. But that courage came at a cost. In round 6, something changed, briefly. Mancio landed a jab. Then, surprisingly, a right hand caught Inoue's attention. For a split second, it seemed he might be mounting a rally. But Inoue crushed that hope instantly. A left hook to the liver stopped Mancio in his tracks. His legs didn't move. His arms dropped. And Inoue, seeing blood in the water, struck again. A right hand up top, then 2 vicious shots to the body. They echoed like gunshots in the cavernous arena. Mancio backed into the ropes, face contorted in pain. He tried to clinch, to buy a second, but Inoue spun out and punished him with a right uppercut to the jaw. The round ended, and Mancio slumped onto his stool. The cut under his eye had reopened. Blood streamed. His chest heaved with exhaustion. His corner worked frantically. Ice, Vaseline, encouragement. But the truth was obvious. Mancio wasn't just battling Inoue anymore. He was fighting to stay awake. Round 7 opened like a thunderclap. Inoue charged in with a right hand that landed flush. Then another. Then a left hook. Every punch seemed to drain what little resistance Mancio had left. He tried to clinch again, but Inoue sidestepped, landed another cruel body shot, and followed with an uppercut that sent Mancio reeling. The referee stepped in to inspect, but Mancio insisted he could continue. So Inoue obliged, with more brutality. Punch after punch, combinations from every angle. No one in the building could believe what they were watching. This wasn't a fight. This was a systematic dismantling. By round 8, the energy inside the arena had changed. No one sat. Every fan stood in silence, reverence, and disbelief. The commentators, usually vibrant with energy, had fallen quiet. There was nothing left to say. This was boxing perfection. And still, somehow, Mancio remained upright. Inoue remained calm. He didn't chase the knockout. He watched, studied, and waited. Then he saw it, a slight bend in Mancio's stance. A hesitation. That was the cue. A right hand to the body folded Mancio slightly. Inoue stepped in with a left uppercut that snapped the head back. Then a right hook. Then another shot to the face. Mancio stumbled into the ropes. The referee neared. But Mancio waved him off. He wanted more. Inoue gave him more. What followed was a finishing sequence few would forget. 14 punches in under 6 seconds. Every single one landed flush. There was no wasted motion. No flailing. Just precision. Just dominance. Finally, mercifully, the referee stepped in and stopped the fight. The crowd erupted, not with joy, but with awe. Inoue raised his arms. Not boastfully. Not arrogantly. Just quietly. As if acknowledging that he had done what needed to be done. After the fight, Mancio's injuries were reported, a broken orbital bone, cracked ribs, and deep bruising. He had survived longer than most expected. He had taken punishment few could have withstood. But the outcome had never truly been in doubt. From the first bell, Naoya Inoue had taken control, and he never let go. Japanese analysts praised him without hesitation. His footwork, his timing, his poise, it all pointed to something beyond talent. Even when adversity struck, even with a cut of his own, Inoue never wavered. He made adjustments. He stayed calm. He delivered. That, they said, is what makes a legend. And on that night, in that arena, Naoya Inoue wasn't just a star in the making, he was Japan's living, breathing force of nature. The monster was real. And the world had been warned.